Picture this, it's 2:37 a.m., and you're wide awake staring at the ceiling, listening to the faint hum of the world outside. Your body's exhausted, your mind's racing, and sleep feels like a distant memory. You've tried everything, flipping the pillow, counting backward from 100, even that old trick of imagining a peaceful beach. But the hours tick by, and you're still awake wondering, is this just how it's going to be now? If that sounds like you, you're not alone. So many of us, especially as we get older, find that restful sleep slips through our fingers like sand. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be that way. You can take back your nights, wake up refreshed, and feel like yourself again without popping pills or chasing complicated routines. Welcome to Elderly Wisdom Guide, your cozy corner for practical, heartfelt advice to help you thrive in your golden years. Today, we're diving into a topic that touches so many lives: sleep. Specifically, how 6 simple superfoods, yes, foods you might already have in your kitchen, can help you drift off naturally and stay asleep longer. These aren't fancy supplements or expensive fads. They're everyday foods that work with your body's natural rhythms to bring back those peaceful nights you thought were gone for good. And trust me, one of these might surprise you. It's something most folks eat at the wrong time of day, and it could be stealing hours of your rest. So grab a warm drink, settle in, and let's talk about how to make sleep your friend again. Before we start, drop a quick "better sleep" in the comments if you've ever struggled with tossing and turning or waking up too early. I'd love to hear from you. Why does sleep matter so much, especially after 60? It's not just about feeling rested. Poor sleep can sap your energy, cloud your memory, and even make your days feel heavier physically and emotionally. As we age, our bodies produce less of the hormones that regulate sleep, like melatonin, and life's stresses, whether it's worrying about family health or just the creaks in your joints, can keep your mind buzzing when you need it to quiet down. But here's what I've learned from years of talking to folks just like you: small intentional changes can make a big difference. These superfoods we're about to explore aren't magic, but they're powerful tools to signal to your body, it's okay to rest now. Let's start with the first one. Something so simple yet so effective, it might just change your nights forever. Let's talk about tart cherries. Now, I know what you're thinking: cherries really just a fruit. But hear me out. There's a reason these little red gems are a sleep superstar. Let me tell you about Clara, a 68-year-old widow who loves her weekly book club and tending to her rose garden. A few years ago, sleep became her biggest challenge. She'd fall asleep fine, but wake up at 3 a.m., her mind spinning with worries about her kids or the next doctor's appointment. She tried warm milk meditation apps, even cutting out coffee, but nothing worked. Then one day at her book club, a friend mentioned tart cherry juice. Clara was skeptical. How could juice help? But she figured it was worth a try. She started sipping half a cup about an hour before bed, and within a week, something shifted. She wasn't just falling asleep, she was staying asleep, waking up feeling like she'd actually rested. So what's the deal with tart cherries? They're one of nature's best sources of melatonin, the hormone that tells your brain it's time to sleep. As we age, our bodies make less melatonin, which is why those middle-of-the-night wake-ups become so common. Tart cherries give you a gentle boost, helping your brain ease back into its natural sleep-wake rhythm. But here's where people trip up. They think fruit before bed means too much sugar. Not with tart cherries. A small serving, half a cup of juice or a handful of dried cherries, has just enough natural sugar to work without spiking your blood sugar. Timing is key, though. Have them 1 to 2 hours before bed to let your body absorb the melatonin. You can even mix the juice with a splash of sparkling water for a little evening treat. It's not about overhauling your diet. It's about a small intentional choice that tells your body it's safe to let go. Now let's move to another food that's probably already in your kitchen: bananas. I know another fruit, but stick with me. This one's a game changer. Let me share a story about George, a 74-year-old retired mechanic who still tinkers with old cars in his garage. George used to sleep like a rock, but in his early 70s, he started waking up every night around 2 a.m., feeling wired, like his body couldn't settle. His doctor mentioned his magnesium levels might be low, and instead of prescribing pills, she suggested bananas. George laughed. Bananas, but he started eating one about an hour before bed, sometimes with a smear of peanut butter. After a couple of weeks, he noticed he wasn't just sleeping longer, he was waking up without that jittery, restless feeling. Bananas are like nature's calming potion. They're packed with magnesium and potassium, 2 minerals that work together to relax your muscles and nervous system. Magnesium soothes your brain, easing that racing mind feeling, while potassium helps your muscles unwind, preventing those annoying leg cramps that can jolt you awake. The trick is portion control. One medium banana is perfect. Too many and you might feel sluggish in the morning. Pair it with a tiny bit of nut butter for a touch of healthy fat that keeps you satisfied through the night. And don't worry about the sugar myth. A single banana's natural sugars are balanced by its fiber, so it won't keep you up. It's like giving your body a warm hug before bed. Now that we've covered tart cherries and bananas, two simple foods that can transform your sleep, let's keep the momentum going. In the next part, we'll dive into a crunchy little nut that's a powerhouse for calming restless legs and a warm, comforting food that might surprise you. Stay with me. This is just the beginning of reclaiming your restful nights. So you've got tart cherries and bananas in your sleep toolbox, two simple natural foods that can help you drift off and stay asleep. But we're not done yet. Let's keep exploring this gentle path to better rest with a couple more superfoods that might already be hiding in your pantry. These next two are all about calming your body and mind in ways you might not expect, and they're perfect for anyone over 60 who's tired of those restless nights. Let's dive into a crunchy little nut that's been a quiet hero for so many folks struggling with sleep, and then we'll talk about a warm, comforting dish that's not just for breakfast anymore. First up, let's talk about almonds. I know they sound like something you toss into a salad or munch on during a mid-morning break, but these little nuts are so much more than a snack. They're like tiny sleep coaches working behind the scenes to help your body unwind. Let me tell you about Evelyn, a 79-year-old who still volunteers at her local library twice a week. Evelyn was always on the go, but her nights were a different story. She'd lie in bed, her legs twitching and jumping, like they had a mind of their own. Restless leg syndrome, her doctor called it, and it was stealing her sleep night after night. She tried warm baths and stretching, but nothing seemed to help. Then during a chat with her niece, who's a nurse, she heard about almonds. Just a handful before bed, her niece said. Evelyn was skeptical. How could a nut fix her legs? But she gave it a try, eating about 10 raw almonds an hour before bed. Within a week, the twitching started to ease, and she was sleeping deeper longer, waking up feeling like she could take on the day. What makes almonds so special? They're packed with two sleep-loving nutrients, magnesium and tryptophan. Magnesium is like a natural tranquilizer for your nervous system, calming those jittery signals that keep your legs restless or your mind racing. Tryptophan, an amino acid, is a building block for serotonin, that feel-good chemical that helps your brain relax and eventually turns into melatonin, your body's sleep hormone. Together, they create a powerful duo that suits both your body and mind. But here's where people often go wrong. They eat almonds in the morning for energy, which is great, but their real magic shines at night. A small handful, about 8 to 10 almonds, about an hour before bed is all you need. Stick to raw or lightly roasted almonds, not the salted kind, because too much salt can make you thirsty and send you to the bathroom in the middle of the night. It's a simple swap that can make a world of difference, especially if restless legs or a buzzing mind are keeping you up. Now let's shift gears to something warm and cozy, something you might associate with chilly mornings, but can work wonders at night: oatmeal. I can almost hear you saying oatmeal for dinner. But stay with me, this humble grain is like a warm blanket for your body and soul. Let me share a story about Walter, an 82-year-old who still takes daily walks around his neighborhood, waving at every neighbor he passes. Walter used to love his evenings, but falling asleep was a struggle. His mind would race thinking about the news, his grandkids, or even what he forgot to pick up at the store. He tried turning off the TV early, even reading boring books, but nothing calmed his thoughts. One evening, after a friend mentioned oatmeal as a bedtime snack, Walter decided to give it a go. He made a small bowl with almond milk and a pinch of cinnamon, eating it about an hour before bed. The first night he didn't notice much, but after a few days he was falling asleep faster, his mind quieter, his body more at ease. Why does oatmeal work? It's a complex carbohydrate, which means it releases energy, slowly helping your brain produce serotonin, that calming chemical we talked about earlier. Serotonin sets the stage for melatonin, creating a gentle chain reaction that eases you into sleep. Plus, oatmeal is naturally soothing. Its warmth and texture feel like comfort in a bowl, which is especially important if stress or anxiety keeps you up. The key is to keep it light: a half serving, about a quarter cup of dry oats, cooked with water or almond milk to avoid feeling too full. Add a sprinkle of cinnamon, which helps us stabilize blood sugar, or a few slices of banana for that extra potassium boost we mentioned earlier. Avoid heavy toppings like sugary syrups. Keep it simple so your body can focus on relaxing, not digesting. It's like giving yourself permission to slow down, to let the day go, and to welcome sleep with open arms. And here's a little tip from my own experience: the ritual matters as much as the food. When you eat these foods, whether it's a handful of almonds or a warm bowl of oatmeal, take a moment to sit quietly, maybe dim the lights, and let your body feel the calm. It's not just about the nutrients. It's about telling yourself, this is my time to rest. These small moments can shift how you feel about sleep, making it something to look forward to instead of dread. We've got two more superfoods to explore, including one that's a savory favorite and another that's a soothing sip to end your day. Let's keep going to uncover how these can help you reclaim those restful nights you deserve. We've already uncovered four incredible superfoods: tart cherries, bananas, almonds, and oatmeal, that can help you reclaim those peaceful nights you've been missing. These aren't just foods. They're like gentle nudges to your body, reminding it how to rest deeply and naturally. Now let's round out our list with two more superfoods that might surprise you. One that's a savory staple you may already love, and another that's a soothing drink to wrap up your evening. These final pieces of the puzzle can make all the difference, especially for those of us over 60 who want to wake up feeling refreshed and ready to embrace the day. So let's dive in and talk about how a familiar dinner favorite and a calming tea can become your new bedtime allies. First, let's talk about turkey, not just for Thanksgiving, but a quiet hero for better sleep. I want to share a story about Rose, a 76-year-old who still hosts weekly card games with her friends. Rose used to cherish her evenings, but lately she'd been waking up at 4 a.m. feeling groggy and unable to fall back asleep. It wasn't just annoying, it was starting to dim her spark. She tried cutting out naps and avoiding late-night snacks, but nothing helped. Then at one of her card games, a friend mentioned how a small turkey sandwich before bed had changed her nights. Rose was curious. She started adding a few slices of lean turkey breast to her evening meal, paired with a piece of whole grain bread and some lettuce. Within a few days, she noticed she was sleeping past 4 a.m. sometimes, even until her alarm at 7. Her mornings felt lighter, her energy stronger, and those card games, she was back to winning. What's the secret behind turkey? It's all about tryptophan, an amino acid that's like a natural sleep conductor. Tryptophan helps your body produce serotonin, which calms your mind, and then melatonin, which signals it's time to sleep. As we age, our bodies need a little extra help with this process, and turkey delivers it in a gentle, digestible way. But here's where people get it wrong. They think a big, heavy protein meal at night will keep them awake. That's true if you're eating a huge steak at 9 p.m. But a small portion of lean turkey, like a few thin slices of breast meat, about 2 to 3 ounces, about 2 hours before bed, is perfect. It gives your body time to digest and lets the tryptophan work its magic. Try it in a light wrap with some spinach, or as a simple side with your dinner veggies. It's not just about sleep either. Turkey's protein supports muscle health, which is so important as we get older. It's like a quiet gift to your body, helping you rest and stay strong. Now let's end with something that's less about eating and more about savoring: a warm, comforting drink that's been a bedtime favorite for generations: chamomile tea. Let me tell you about Henry, an 85-year-old who loves his daily crossword puzzles and evening chats with his grandkids over the phone. Henry had always been a decent sleeper, but in recent years his mind wouldn't settle at night. He'd lie in bed replaying conversations or worrying about small things like whether he locked the back door. He didn't want sleeping pills, so when his daughter suggested chamomile tea, he gave it a try. Every night he'd brew a cup, sit in his favorite armchair, and sip slowly while listening to soft music. It wasn't just the tea, it was the ritual. Within a week, he was falling asleep faster, his worries quieter, his nights fuller. Chamomile tea is like a warm hug in a mug. It contains apigenin, a natural compound that binds to receptors in your brain, slowing your nervous system and easing you into a calm state. It's not a heavy sedative, it's gentle, which makes it perfect for older adults who want to avoid strong medications. The key is to make it a moment of peace. Brew a cup 30 to 45 minutes before bed using one tea bag or a teaspoon of loose chamomile in hot water. If you like a touch of sweetness, add a tiny bit of honey, but skip the sugar to keep things light. Sip it slowly in a quiet space, maybe with a book or soft lighting, to signal to your body that the day is done. And here's a little insight from watching folks like Henry. It's not just the tea's chemistry. It's the act of slowing down, of giving yourself permission to rest, that makes chamomile such a powerful ally. Now let's take a step back and think about why this matters. Sleep isn't just about closing your eyes, it's about giving your body and mind the chance to heal, to recharge, to keep you sharp and strong for the life you love. As we age poor, sleep can steal more than just your energy. It can dull your memory, weigh on your mood, and even make it harder to stay independent. But you're not stuck. These six superfoods, tart cherries, bananas, almonds, oatmeal, turkey, and chamomile tea, are like tools in your hands, ready to help you rebuild those restful nights. They're not about drastic changes or expensive fixes. They're about small, loving choices you make for yourself, like sipping a cup of tea or eating a banana before bed. Start with just one. Maybe tonight you try a handful of almonds or a warm bowl of oatmeal and see how your body responds. It's not instant, but give it a few nights and you might find your rhythm again. I want to hear from you. Have you tried any of these foods before bed? Did they help you sleep deeper or wake up feeling better? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else. And if this video gave you a spark of hope or a new idea to try, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us reach more folks who need this kind of simple, heartfelt advice. If you're new to Elderly Wisdom Guide, hit that subscribe button to join our community. This is your space for practical tips and stories to help you live well, sleep deeply, and feel your best no matter your age. From my heart to yours, thank you for watching. Here's to nights filled with rest and days filled with joy. Sweet dreams, friends.